Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the Livable Neighborhoods monthly meeting for August, and we will go ahead and get started. Our first speaker today will be Sergeant Joyce with the Police Department, and she's going to be talking about the Community ID program. And let me...
And Andrea, if you don't mind, I can give a little bit of a background of kind of how this started and why we're going to be presenting it, if that's okay.
Yes. There we go.
Oh, so it's a big screen then. Oh boy. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Captain Brittany Pruitt with the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, and I'm over our community policing unit as well as our traffic unit. So today my sergeant is going to be presenting what our City ID program is about. We formed a homeless outreach team about a year and a half ago because we've realized that there is a need to address the homeless community in our, homeless in our community. We know that we've seen a rise in it over the last year, especially with COVID. And so we've run across a lot of different issues when dealing with our homeless population. And this project kind of started about a year ago. So we've been working on it diligently for the last year, trying to figure out what works best for our community and what the needs are, so that we can help solve some of the issues that we are having. So Erin, our Vista, is also going to be presenting. She's done a fantastic job with creating this presentation, getting all of our documentation together. And so any questions that you guys may have at the end, feel free to ask and we'll hopefully be able to answer them for you. So thank you.
Great. And Sergeant Joyce, if you want to go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute it and it kept bouncing my picture. This is Erin that's in the green shirt. That's why I'm kind of sitting off the side. She's actually going to go through the PowerPoint and then I will be available to answer a lot of questions because we are actually doing this program now and we've learned a lot just in the week and a half that we've been doing it. So Captain, if you have the PowerPoint.
Andrea, do you mind if I can share my screen or?
Yes, hold on just a moment. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There we go.
Okay, you should be able to now.
Okay, can everybody see that then?
There we go.
Okay.
We're good, Captain.
Perfect.
Do I have the ability to move it though?
Okay, so I'll talk about what the ID is first. It's a free photo ID that is issued by the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, specifically the Community Policing Unit. It's modeled after the City of Topeka ID, and the whole goal of it is to streamline the process of obtaining a Kansas State ID and to help people get their essential documentation like their birth certificate and Social Security card. So many vulnerable members of our community, including people experiencing homelessness and victims of crime, often don't have access to the necessary documentation to get their state ID. And without an ID, there are lots of resources that they can't access, like public benefits, employment, housing, healthcare, and financial services. So Kansas City, Kansas residents who are already eligible to get a state ID can be verified by law enforcement and otherwise would not be able to obtain identification are eligible for this program. So that includes people experiencing homelessness and victims of crime. So the steps to get an ID are pretty simple. An applicant, they'll fill out the application, they'll have their photo taken, and then officers will verify them. So the application process, they just need some information, legal name, date of birth, personal demographics, phone number, just anything that helps officers have all the information they need so they can verify the applicants within databases. So the verification process, it's done only by a police officer. They will utilize available databases to verify the identity of the applicant. They must be able to use a minimum of 2 state-level database sources, and all information and the photo must be able to be confirmed. If for any reason an officer is unable to verify the applicant's identity, no ID will be issued. And this is just like kind of what it looks like on the front. You have, you know, what it is, the expiration date, signature, full name, and then there will be a photo of them. And on the back has all that pertinent information. So more about the Topeka model. Like I said, the ID is modeled after the city of Topeka ID. They began issuing that in 2018, and they were able to successfully partner with the state of Kansas to streamline the process of getting a state ID and birth certificate, which has paved the way for us to do the same. And the verification process is really the key to being successful with our partnership, or with the partnership between the state of Kansas and Topeka, and then also with the state of Kansas and us. And this city of Topeka ID has helped members of the Topeka community access vital resources. So it's been a really important program for them. And then state partnerships, because Topeka was able to already kind of pave the way and make those connections, we've been able to partner with the Kansas Department of Revenue and the Office of Vital Statistics to streamline the process of getting a state ID. And then once they have their KCK ID, they're able to obtain a temporary state ID that's good for 1 year, and then they can go on to get their birth certificate. And then the steps to get a state ID, once they have their KCK ID, they can schedule a time to go to the DMV with an officer, and they'll do this at pickup. They'll just, you know, sign up whenever is convenient for them. And then on that scheduled day at their appointment, they'll bring their KCK ID. And if they have any documentation, a birth certificate, social security card, proof of address, or copies of any of those things, they should bring that with them. And then the DMV will issue the paper copy of their temporary state ID. And then the state ID will actually be mailed to the police department. And then when it comes in, an officer will notify them when it arrives.
Great. Thank you. Do we have any questions?
One of the questions in the chat thing, these are good for a year. Can we reissue them? Yeah, we can reissue them. The state temp one is only a one-time shot, and it's only a 1 year thing. So in that 1 year, they do have to apply for the birth certificate and social security card, or else the state will not reissue another temp card. So we make sure that they're aware of that at that time. Some of the things we're already finding is the state also is very picky about if you have a birth certificate that's seriously creased, they will not accept that. And so some of these people that have come to us have been unable to replace ID cards that they had because the documentation they do have is so creased that the state has said, no, we can't read this. We can't work with this also.
It looks like we had another question from the library. Is it possible to get flyers so that we can get this out to the community?
Yes, we were just talking about that before this meeting, what kind, to put a quick reference sheet that we can provide to hospitals. So when they start seeing them, libraries is a good one. Other places in the community. So we've kind of got a list that we've been making here the last couple of minutes of people we need to provide this information to and what they are.
And if you can get that to Livable Neighborhoods, we can make sure it gets out to this group too.
Sounds good.
It looks like we had a couple more questions. One is, if you originate from another state other than Kansas, can this program help that individual?
Yes, it actually can. So with this ID, the different services such as Franks and Crosslines are able to go to those other states and get the birth certificates. Once they have the birth certificates, then they are able to go to Social Security and get Social Security card. So yes, as long as we're able to verify them, we're not reinventing the wheel. What we're doing is finding their old ID cards and verifying the information that they've given us with their photo, with those ID cards, through all of the different database law enforcement has. So if there are other states, we do try to go through that stuff. We just have to be able to verify them.
Okay, great. Somebody also asked, is there information on your website about this program?
I believe the chief's office had sent some information out by Facebook, but we would have to check with Nancy to see what all has been put on there.
Okay, great. And then Nancy McNeely with Workforce Partnership said, please get it to the workforce centers. They are getting, I think, questions about the IDs. And then are the IDs only for adults 18 or older?
Yes. Part of the problem with doing juvenile type, we've actually had one that just had turned 18 within a week of this. He's never had an ID. Trying to verify the information is a challenge when you have never had an ID and there's no copies of that has photos attached to the information if they've never been arrested, that kind of stuff. So would we be able to do juveniles? Potentially, but it's really a matter of, can we verify it 100%? And that's what we're trying to protect, is to ensure that we're not creating IDs under information that we can't verify.
Great. And then do the people have to be US citizens?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, we're just trying to, the state IDs they've already held, we're just trying to help them reobtain those state IDs.
And to further on that, it's more about just being able to verify who they are. So, have they come through the system of, have they been to another state and got another driver's license? Or, have they been arrested? Have they, just different, we have to be able to confirm their identity through law enforcement databases. And so that's what's extremely important for us to keep our partnership with the state, is to be able to have those two verifications. And that's the only way that we can actually go through with that, is so we have to verify who they are.
Okay. We also had another question that said, you said if they are eligible to get an ID, they are not eligible for this program. Can you speak more about that?
So if they actually hold the stuff, the birth certificates that are legible, the Social Security card, if they actually hold the stuff that the state requires to get the actual ID, then this is not a program for them. All they have to do is go to the state and obtain that ID. This is to help them to get those documents or replace those documents that they've lost or been destroyed or stolen, to get ultimately the full ID, state ID.
And people may forget kind of how easy it is, for most of us to get a state ID. If you're homeless or you don't have an address, you've lost all your documentation, it's extremely difficult for those individuals to actually get an ID. I think sometimes we kind of take it for granted that, we have that availability, we have a BPU, slip and everything. And so we can take all that information in. These individuals that we are serving do not have that. And so that's kind of our target, is to make sure that these individuals who are experiencing homelessness or victims of crime who have had to leave a house and leave all their documentation or it's been destroyed. That allows us to be able to help facilitate them to get an ID.
Great. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, if there are questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Community Policing, Sergeant Joyce or Captain Pruitt with any follow-up questions. And thank you both very much. That was a great presentation. And it looked beautiful, by the way. Okay. Next on our list is the mayor's office.
He's not able to join.
Okay, great. Did you have any updates for us, Lynn?
Yes, I would just like to say something that we've been working on out of the mayor's office is he set up 3 infrastructure committees to determine and prioritize the needs throughout the community. And the committees are streets, bridges, and streetlights, stormwater, wastewater, and parks and rec. So these groups are comprised of commissioners and staff, and they meet regularly and discussing the needs and concerns in every district throughout the community. And then based on that information that's gathered and processed, that then we'll take it forward and make determinations gathered on that information that's been discussed and received. So we've been working on that pretty diligently with the commission. If you have any questions, feel free to contact your commissioner or call our office, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions for Lynn? Okay, thank you.
Thank
Next, I believe Kay.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to give you a quick overview of where we are in the COVID campaign. Right now, we are at 21,372 confirmed cases since we began. That's up from 21,085. And I will put all of these numbers in the chat for you. Our probable cases, we are currently at 2331. That is up from 2272 last week. Our deaths are at 319. That is up from 306, which would have been about the last time we met. Our 7-day rolling average is at 95 cases a day, which is quite high. That's up from 89 cases in our last week reporting. Our 7-day positivity rate is up to 36%, which is extremely high. Last week, it was at 32%, so we are still going up. There is some good news. 12 out of the last 14 days at our Kmart site, we have had more first doses than second doses. So that means that we have more folks that are getting in to start that vaccination process. Right now, KU Med has 85 patients that are being treated for COVID. Their numbers are sufficiently high that they are still not taking any transfer cases at this point. We're sitting at about 4% in breakthrough cases, and almost all of those cases are folks that are immunocompromised. That means they have underlying health conditions, they're going through chemotherapy or something like that, that is also a drain on their immune system. The Kmart site is slated to remain open at least until October 1. We will be evaluating that the last half of September to see where we need to be in October. And I want to end with some good news. KDHE just published a new county ranking system that's based on vaccination rates, COVID case rates, and how well we're doing on testing. In March, we were third from the bottom. We were 101 out of 104 counties. Right now, we are sitting at number 17. So we have made a huge, huge improvement in the last 4 or 5 months. So although, you know, we are still battling, we are making some good progress in Wyandotte County. That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Kay. Any questions? Oh,
I have one, Andrea.
Okay.
When do you anticipate the second doses for those that were vaccinated in early 2021, like January, February? Do we have any plans for that? Or
Are you referring to the boosters?
boosters? Yes.
Okay. Let me explain the difference between you are probably hearing two terms, the third dose and then the booster. So the third dose, that is for folks who are immunocompromised. And we are doing third doses right now. Now the booster shot, which comes 8 months, I believe, after your first shot, we will start. We're still waiting from some guidance from the state, but we look to start that in September. So if folks that are wanting to get a booster shot, it would be that time period from your second shot. So if you received your second shot in March, then you would go 8 months from that, and then that's when you would want to get that booster shot. So it won't be, if you finished up in May, you won't be getting a booster shot in September, because that 8 month time frame will not have elapsed. I hope that makes sense.
It did. Thank you.
great. Any other questions? So we do have a question that since Pfizer is FDA approved, is the booster FDA approved?
If you mean the Pfizer and the Pfizer booster will be FDA approved. Yes. They are, yes, FDA approved.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay.
Senator Billbrook, real quick. So for instance, I took the Moderna, okay, but I'm immunocompromised a little bit. So do I need to wait, or should I come back in for that third Moderna?
If you are immunocompromised, you can come in for your booster, and that will be up to you. We are doing self-attestation, so you don't need to have anything from your doctor specifically indicating that you are immunocompromised. You will just need to sign a form indicating that you fall in that category.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kay.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Kay.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it. We did have a question that I did not get to. I missed the hand being up for Lynn. Lynn, are you still on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I believe it was Mr. Brownlee.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Lynn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I had a question about that infrastructure project or program you were discussing. I've been in talks with the street department, And in my HOA, we're having a real big issue with sinking streets and damaged curbing. Would that include that infrastructure?
That's exactly the type of things that we'll be discussing and looking at.
Okay, yeah, I spoke with the supervisor there at the street department, and he forwarded my concern. I had a big long list of the sinking street locations, and he sent it to the engineering department, somebody named Brandon.
Yes,
And
that's proper procedure.
And I've been waiting for a response back from Brandon. I actually called his office to leave a message and left my contact information. So
Okay.
should I keep trying, or should I call the office where you working? I just sent I just sent a direct message to Commissioner Philbrook, who's the commissioner of this district. So I'll be meeting with her hopefully in the near future about it also.
Okay, she'll follow up with us on it, but that's the exact things that are being discussed.
Okay,
So,
good deal.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so next is Sheriff Ash. Are you ready to go?
Ready.
Okay.
A couple of things. We're hiring. We are hiring. We have lots of jobs available. Everything from juvenile care workers to juvenile intake and assessment, screeners to records clerks to deputy and court security officers. So we are hiring and very interested in individuals that may be interested in us or will be qualified. So please reach out. Please contact us. Please contact HR. You can call the sheriff's office at 573-2861 and ask for Captain Harvey, and he'll shepherd interested individuals right through the process. Jail population is up, but it's summertime and that's pretty typical. So not something that we're unaccustomed to. We're not having outbreak or huge problems or issue with COVID, either in our workforce or in the jail currently. So everything is going well with regard to that. And the last thing I will say is we have a number of individuals currently in custody in regard to the homicide that occurred on Sunday the 15th in Matney Park. So the investigation is ongoing. We may be having a press release later today on that, but just want to assure anybody on the call here today, certainly from that neighborhood area of Matney Park or down in that area, that it looks like we're going to have that solved. And I don't want to delay any concerns that it was just some sort of random, killing of somebody in the park. It was not. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Sheriff Ash today? It's a quiet group today. Okay, thank you so much. And next on our agenda would be the DA's office. Are you ready? It says Wyandotte DA on it, so I'm not sure who it is.
It's me.
Yay!
All right. Thank you so much. Listen, just a few quick updates. We are excited here in the Wyandotte County District Attorney's Office. We are doing what we do. We are handling the cases. We had an exciting time yesterday with the governor coming down, where we were able to sign into law the Adrian's Act. We all remember that horrifying case concerning Adrian Jones. The governor came and did the ceremonial signing and allowed us to be present. Myself, along with Representative Luis Reyes, was able to speak and talk about what that law allows. It allows for the Department of Children and Family and other child welfare workers to actually visually see a child when there is an investigation of abuse and neglect, rather than before that law happened, they simply had to take the word of whoever opened the door. The child is fine. They had no authority of going in or having the police come in, making them go in or letting them see the child. This law now allows them to see the child regardless of what any adult or guardian says, and they are able to now get assistance if that needs to be. And so we're excited to have been a part of that and have given testimony and tried to fight for it. And a lot of that goes to the state representatives, specifically from Wyandotte County, the representatives and senators who fought to make that happen for the children of not just Wyandotte County, but for the state of Kansas. It also allows the DA's office to hold adults accountable who are in the house when abuse happens and they fail to report. So we're excited about that. Other than that, we have a few folks retiring in our office, and so we're celebrating them while at the same time looking for some great attorneys to bring into the office. I think that is about all. Thank you guys so much, and it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you very much. And do we have any questions for DA Dupre? Okay, no questions today. Thank you
so much.
Okay, next on our list is USD 500. Edwin, do you have an update?
Yes, Andrew, I just have a couple of things. Am I muted?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. The superintendent is in the process. We're going to plan some listening and learning sessions. Gives the opportunity for her to share some information about what's her plans are for the school district. She wants to get input and hear comments from parents and the community. So it's another way for her to reach out and to be in touch and easily accessible. So I will be sending out information once we get those dates and times. And we plan on doing 2 in person, depending on how the COVID cases are. And then 1 virtual. So if we have to change, they may all 3 be virtual. So I'll keep you all updated. Speaking of COVID, as we had heard from Kay Sharp earlier today, in our school district, since we started school in August 11th, just a couple of weeks ago, we've had over 110 positive cases in our district. Currently, we have 274 individuals quarantined, and that includes both students and staff. So again, when you think about our district, a little bit over 20,000 students and close to 4,000 staff, I mean, the number sounds large, but when you think about the overall, it's not that large yet. We want to continue to try to keep those numbers low. Again, we do have a mask requirement. So if anyone visits our school campuses, you will be required to wear a mask. So again, we're trying to do our best. Our students need to be in the classroom. We want them in person. So if we all do our part, we can keep these numbers down. That's all I have. Thank you, Andrea.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions for Edwin? Okay, quiet group today. Thank you, Edwin. Do we have any announcements from anyone? Nobody's doing anything this month that they want to tell us about from anywhere. Okay,
Andrea,
Ashley.
Andrea, this is Pat Gurney, and I'm here representing my neighborhood, Wind Hill Estates, but also the Kansas City, Kansas Community College as a member of the Board of Trustees. If you haven't driven through campus lately, you need to take a trip because our new dormitory is coming up out of the ground and you can actually see what it's going to look like when it's done. Good news is no tax dollars are involved in this construction, using construction bonds, and when the housing is filled, the people who rent the rooms will be paying the bonds. So we'd been renting from Royal Ridge and we're full there. We have no more room there to put students that have been asking for dormitories. So a year from now, you'll all be invited out to come see the opening, but drive by and take a look at it. It's pretty exciting stuff.
What about the mural, Pat? Talk about the mural.
Well, go ahead, Sheriff.
Well, last week we had the ribbon cutting on the historical mural in the main administration building there. And it is very interactive, chronicles the 100-year history of the junior college and community college. We will have our centennial celebration here in 2 years, and it is an incredible piece of work. It was 2 years from the mention of the idea to get to the point where we are here today, and it is going to be there for generations to come to know about the history, not only of the college, but really of the community. And so when you're out there driving by to see student housing, park your car and come inside and interact with the mural. Just be sure you wear your mask.
And it was put together with a lot of community input. And I had to make sure that the Edwardsville Potato King was involved. So we even have a story in there about Julius Groves and the Edwardsville Potato King. So it's detailed, it's good, you'll love it. Go see it.
Great, thank you guys. There was something listed in the chat. The KCK Women's Chamber Foundation Scholarship Award Celebration is online and free, and the link is in the chat for those of you who are interested.
Sorry, Andrea, this is Beverly.
Uh-huh.
I received a flyer yesterday from Rosalind Brown, and her church is having a COVID vaccination event, testing and vaccination event, Saturday the 28th from 12 to 3. It's Mason Temple Church of God in Christ, and it's from 12 to 3.
Great, thank you.
Andrea, I have an announcement also.
Okay, and then we have Nancy, and then we have 2 hands up.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say I did go out and visit Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and that mural is awesome. It gave me, I had flashbacks as I stood there, and I remembered the Indian Springs days, and it just showed pictures, and it was just awesome to stand there, and it took you back to the event. So thank you so much. It's awesome. I did want to mention that with Workforce Partnership in Kansas Department of Commerce, we do have some open positions that we're trying to fill. So we have some hiring spots. So if you all know anybody, we have a couple of positions in Johnson and Wyandotte County to work in the Career Center. And then we have some positions within our youth department to work as career navigators to help the youth that are between the ages of 16 and 24 with job readiness skills and that piece. So we are looking for some individuals. We do also have 2 positions open in our Leavenworth office looking for veterans that can fulfill the need as case managers as well. So while COVID is rapid and things are happening, we're trying to open the doors, we're trying to do some things, and we have some positions. So if you know anyone, send them our way that's qualified. And also, if you know of anyone that is looking for work, that is looking for something, we have employers that are coming in as of today, still doing job fairs in the office. We have days that they have scheduled. And one of the things that we've been experiencing is that we have employers coming in and no candidates coming in to meet with the employers. And so, that can only go on so long. So we need your help in getting people in the offices, in our career centers, so that we can assist them, help them, and get them back to work. That's it.
Great, thank you. Ashley.
Hello, everyone. Ashley Hand, Director of Strategic Communications in the Unified Government. I just want to let you know we are at the very early stages of launching a map to track activities around 913 Day, which if you are unfamiliar with this idea, it's about embracing our local businesses, our local organizations and community, and really celebrating it. There are efforts underway by many different groups across Wyandotte County to do something around 913 Day. It's modeled after the 816 Day across the state line. We'll be collecting information and building a map of all the different activities on our website. So stay tuned. We'll be launching that in the next couple of days and look forward to supporting our local businesses and communities as they take on something cool in their neighborhood. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Linda.
Hi, at Huron Park, the park behind the main library, on September 25th from 10 to 2, we are having library in the park again. Normally we have this at Big 11, but due to COVID and all the craziness, we've moved it to Huron Park. So we'll be having that event there. And we are also having a major book sale at that time. So I know a lot of people have been after us wanting to attend a book sale, and we haven't had a big one in a long time. So if you want to go shopping, this is another good opportunity. So it's September 25th from 10 to 2 behind the main library.
Great, thank you. And Linda, will you be able to share a flyer about that event?
Yeah, I sure can. I'll be
Okay.
happy to send you one. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I did notice that we had something in the chat from Elizabeth. This September 11th, Americans across the nation will mark the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Join the Kansas City Metro AmeriCorps program and serving our community, and sign up for one of our opportunities or find one in your own community. 9/11 Day of Service, KC Metro AmeriCorps Vista program. And Elizabeth, would you be able to put your email there in case people want more information about that? And I believe that we'll be sharing something in our Livable Neighborhoods news also.
Andrea?
Yes.
Hi, this is Denise with Leavenworth Road Association. I just wanted to let everybody know about our car show we're going to try this year, September 11th on Patriots Day. It's going to be in front of Eisenhower front parking lot. So we don't know how many cars yet, but it's going to be small. It's in lieu of the parade because we cannot do a parade down Leavenworth Road at this time with construction. So, and it's been in the e-news. So we'd appreciate anybody coming out.
So Denise, this is Commissioner Philbrook. You know, you had a request out for those pop cans.
Yes.
I have those in the back of my car.
Oh, great.
Bag of them, and just email me and let me know where to bring them. Okay.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But there'll be, there'll be a couple of kids games and a free little kiddies train ride one of our members has. We've got the Gateway High Steppers going to be there and a food tent. So it should be fun for our first time out.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay. If there aren't any more, you guys are making it a quick meeting today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and
Almost
Paul.
done. Click the continue to installation button and follow the instructions.
Paul, do you want to lead us out?
Well, I hope the sign program that you got going is catching on all through the community. I understand you ordered some more signs.
Yes, we do have more signs, livable neighborhood signs that say do something good in your neighborhood. If you would like a sign, let me know, and you can pick them up at our offices. I do want to emphasize that I've been getting a lot of requests from people to have me bring them signs. I cannot do that on a regular basis. I don't mind doing it if you can't get out, but or if I have volunteers who want to drive signs around, let me know. But you can pick them up at our offices. There are a few out right now, but just have people contact me and I will make sure to get them a sign.
Great. So let's go do something good in our neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.